Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of The Reserve List. I am your humble dungeon master, Joshua McGregor, and I'm here to welcome you to this continuation of our story in the Race to the Battle of the Bands series here on the Hidden Realms YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. Let me get out of your face. Enjoy.
So, presumably we're playing tonight.
You've actually got a bit more time. You've arrived early, so you might be able to play like an extra gig tonight if you're interested in doing that. It would be worth talking to the proprietor of the place that you were meant to do your gig at. But yeah, your actual one is scheduled for the night after this one.
Mm-hmm. What if, and this is a suggestion for Isabyn, what if we do a warm-up gig at the tavern where the people, what's that bar down the alleyway?
The Gentle Repose.
At the Gentle Repose, and then use that warm-up gig as a chance to kind of check these fellas out and see what's going on.
I think that's an excellent idea. I'll go and talk to the proprietor of the tavern right now. See if we can get us booked in.
Awesome stuff. Does anybody want to go with Isabyn? Do you all go together? Do you all want to split up and do various things? Tell me what you'd like.
Nah, mate, I'm going shopping. No, not really. That's a terrible idea.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. With your 15 perception from earlier, you can see the various sort of like, the signposts. There's a signpost with directional signs to various places in town. Crosshire is bigger than these previous towns that you have gone to. It seems like there are more people here. There's definitely more people like coming in and out on their way to and from various places. And merchants, but also sort of construction and military personnel to and from Pottsfort and Menaceel, which are these two areas which potentially have more to do with national defense than the inner cities where you guys, or towns rather, where you guys have been. You see that some of these directional signs for within the town seem to be pointing towards colleges, and colleges in the North American sense, where alternates to universities. There's one pointing towards a college of glamour, one pointing towards a college of lore, and another pointing towards a college of swords.
Nice.
Oh, God. Gnurgle instantly recognizes those kind of schools. Yes, I know what these colleges are all about. I'm afraid they're going to be full of very charismatic and very chauvinistic and very... how can I say it? Yes. Bards.
He spits out in this band.
People with actual talents and charisma. Ugh, disgusting.
Yeah, the colleges. Why do I take an interest? The colleges. What would be in the colleges that would be of interest other than... Because presumably you have to be like, I mean, what are the colleges?
So it seems to be, if you ask around, that
it's a college town.
It's a college town.
I love this.
It's a college town. There are sort of like the pristine, there's the Arcane University and some of the more prestigious places that are sort of based in the capital and some of the more major cities. And then there's Crosshire which trains not only bards, to be fair, but also soldiers, people who want to take extra credit, like adventuring courses, people who want to be scholars and librarians sort of congregate to Crosshire, full of young people, sort of late, young adults, sort of early 20s who not quite sure what they want to do with their life yet, and maybe want to like try things out, try different courses.
Try things out, different courses, different drugs.
Indeed.
So it's interesting. I feel as though you phrase this as if I should check out these colleges, but
I'm not saying you should or should not do anything. I'm just saying a feature of the town is this.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So we have that. What are the other features? Am I allowed to look at any other features of the town?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's sort of the general stuff that are in that's in every town. There's a Madame Mad's augury auction. Sort of there seem to be a lot more sort of like bookshops in this town, which maybe hold textbooks and things for the college students. But anything like a normal town would have, blacksmiths, ordinary shops, the inn,
I feel like for me, the thing that I'm most interested in is...
Well, there's a sheriff's office.
Oh, the sheriff's office. I don't know. What do you think? There's a sheriff's office. There's a tavern.
Well, I'm going to go to the tavern. That's what
Yeah.
I'm going to do. So
We can deal with that, and then you can have time to decide where.
Yeah, because I think the tavern for me, like, that's where the story is. I feel.
For the moment, yeah.
For the moment.
There might be more stuff going on in this town.
How does everyone else feel? Like Gwen, Gnurgle, Lydiana.
Yeah, so we've got Isabyn going to the inn. Where's everyone else going?
I won't go in the inn because it's sounding like we're gonna be in there with the Zero Task Force, and she's like, if I'm gonna have to be in there as me as I would have to be for the performance, it's more dramatic if he just sees me on stage.
Yeah.
So
really screw with him.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna I will go with someone else wherever they want to go. I don't know if Gnurgle wants some books. I don't know.
Yes. I would love to see if there is some crusty old place where I can look for some spell scrolls, please.
100%. 100%. Lydiana, do you have an idea where you're going to go?
I think the spell scroll sounds like a good idea for me too. I like that idea.
Oh,
Plus,
fantastic.
I want to get to know my buddies, so I'll stick along with them.
Yeah.
So, Isabyn, you go to this place, and immediately this sort of side street that this inn is on, it's sort of away from the very busy hustle and bustle of the center square and the main roads. It's just this, like, you know how sometimes you can like dip into a corner of London and it's really quiet somehow? It's like this little repose bubble from the hecticness of everything. Yeah, it's kind of like that. And yes, the gentle repose awaits. Inside, everything is sort of dark wood and muted colors and fireplace and candlelight. It's all very calming and relaxed in here. And as soon as you step across the threshold, no sounds from outside reach your ears at all. And there is a describing some of the races from D&D to people who have never played D&D before is kind of fun. There's an anthropomorphic turtle person called a Tortle, who is sort of behind a receptionist counter / bar.
Mhm.
And I'll sort of see you come in and say, "Oh, hello, welcome."
Hello. I was wondering if I might speak to the manager of this place.
You are. Lovely to meet you. My name's Dee.
Nice to meet you. My name's Isabyn.
What a cool guy this guy sounds like. Wow.
Alberta knows this character from another thing.
All right.
I thought she's being sarcastic. Or were you?
No, he's cool.
Okay.
He's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. He's so old now.
Yeah, he's an older
happy life.
turtle person.
So happy for him.
So Isabyn, yes, lovely to have you here. What can I do for you?
Well, my band, I'm a manager of a band. We are in town to play a gig tomorrow evening, but we were wondering if, well, two things really. First of all, do you have room here to accommodate us tonight? And second of all, we would love to play a warm-up gig here, and perhaps we, might draw in a crowd, get some more business for you. So maybe we could have some sort of arrangement between some free drinks in something
Well,
like that.
that's a very nice offer. First of all, that's amazing that you manage a band. That's very lovely. We absolutely do have rooms. The sort of the policy of the Gentle Repose is we kind of provide a place with a bit more peace than the Crosshire Arms, which sort of is very, very loud and boisterous and things.
Mhm.
People generally sort of people come here to get like a really good night's sleep. Just from being on the road, no matter where they're going, to sort of refresh themselves. We haven't hosted a band before. I'll tell you that much. Perhaps my my wife could arrange for something. I'm wondering. No, you know what? I'm going to check something. And he goes back. You sort of you hear sort of a little sort of like rustling of like as he looks for something and kind of goes, "I'm sure I had it here somewhere. Oh yes, here we go. Oh, yes, Barzad, you bastard! How did you make this thing work?" And there's like a second where you can hear everything that's going on outside, and then you can't anymore. And then it sort of like flickers, and then it stabilizes again, and everything's fine. And he kind of goes, "Okay, I think." And he comes out holding like a little like rod on a stand with some like dials on it, and he goes, "I think this magical doohickey, I can make it work in such a way that everyone upstairs will be able to, will not have to hear the music if they don't have to, and everybody downstairs will be able to enjoy your music." What a lovely idea. Well, we've got extra patrons staying at the moment anyway.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, some very well-to-do folks from out of town.
Right.
But band stuff usually draws quite a bit of a crowd here. The youngsters eat the stuff up for breakfast. Why don't we talk details? And he'll go over sort of a deal with you, and you can settle down and talk to him about that.
Isabyn also suggests they can do an acoustic set, so if that helps with the volume issues.
Well, this bad boy is magic. But if you want to do I like acoustic music myself. That sounds, I don't know if you want to put acoustics in. It doesn't have to be the whole thing if you don't want to.
Well, we'll see. I'll put it to the band and see what they feel. We could do a sort of we could do a kind of an unplugged, chilled out session for you, which might suit your customers. So then when they go upstairs to sleep, then they just feel really relaxed and just really happy and sleep really well.
Reserve list MTV Unplugged.
Exactly.
Isabyn, I'm liking the cut of your jib very much.
Thank you.
Amazing. Lovely. And he'll just chitter something in mouse to your mouse, and and Ito will say something back. He goes, Ito, that's what a feisty fellow you have as your companion.
I wouldn't go anywhere without him. We've been together for a long time.
Yes, well, he thinks the world of you.
Oh, thanks.
Wonderful. We will cut away and go book shopping. Yeah, absolutely. You guys go around. There are used bookshops. There's sort of like only one real like new one, and everyone else is sort of like, oh, we've got the hand-me-downs from all the previous years of stuff. But there are definitely ones that deal more with arcane, ones that deal more with bard magics and scrolls and things. You guys can find an old you just find the Crosshire. It's just called the Crosshire Bookshop, and it's this like old building that looks like it was probably built when the town was first established.
Nice.
And there is a bent over gnomish person who is sitting on a high chair behind a desk, who looks just about as old as that, with very thick rimmed spectacles, and sort of looks at you. Goes, hello, welcome to the Crosshire Bookshop. Is there anything I can help you with?
What's up? Was there anything we would? Because I'm all for happy browsing.
You're more than welcome to browse the bookshops.
Then I look to Gnurgle and Lydiana and be like, was there anything in particular you're looking for?
Yes, I would like to speak to you about illusionary spells, if we may.
Illusionary spells. Well, now, you wouldn't happen to be from the College of Glamour, would you? A new professor?
Yes. Definitely.
Correct answer.
I am a glamour bard. And then Gnurgle goes into like a deep sort of thought back to his youth before he became like a twisted old maniacal man, that he might have been some kind of young bard at some point, and then shakes back out of it. Yes, a glamour bard. So do you have any spells for me? He says.
I'm going as fast as I can. What? I'm looking through my catalog. Yes, I've got all of these illusionary spells, sort of spell scrolls. What level of spell were you looking for? And do you have your spell book to hand? Or you wanting to copy them out, or do you want the scroll itself?
What's the cheapest option? I'm a bit of a tight ass.
The cheapest option would be for you to copy the spell out in the shop, and for me to keep the scroll itself.
Is there like
Absolutely.
copyright for spells? Oh my God.
Some people, young man, when wizards invent a new spell, they gain the right to name that spell. Some of the more egotistical ones, like Tasha or Nevinral or Morden Cayman, liked to name spells after themselves, and thus we get Tense's Floating Disc, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, etc., etc. But there is, if somebody has the skill to learn and the spell has been recorded somewhere, the wizard has not kept it to themselves, then no, there is no copyright on spells. Who would enforce such a thing?
The wizard cops.
Wizard cops.
The wizard pigs.
That sounds like
How
some
do you know about the wizard cops?
the wizard cops.
How do you know about the wizard cups?
Oh, I am a wizard cop. No.
Wizard cops. That should be the next D&D campaign. Wizard cops. And it's like some Middle-earth film noir.
Yeah. Humphrey Bogart style. Black and white detective stories of the wizard cops.
But set to a fictional medieval world. Anyway.
Okay, all right. What level of spell were you looking for, Mr.
I would like to look and see what you have at level 2. But I will be happy to peruse at level 1 as well if you have something particular interest to me.
Well, at level, of course, we have we have all 5 illusion spells in the first level category. But which include, of course, color spray, disguise self, distort value, illusory script, and silent image. At level 2, things are much more interesting, but it's we don't have necessarily all of the spells.
Go on.
At level 2, we have, of course, the classic. We've got invisibility. An oldie but a goodie. Back from my day. We have mirror image, which I've actually had to put in the restricted section because some of these kids were trying to steal it for the hijinks. And then we have a personal favorite, phantasmal force.
You see Gnurgle's eyes light up. Phantasmal force, that's a wonderful spell. May I ask how much you would want in return for me to copy the spell?
To copy a spell such as phantasmal force would be a £500 fee.
Switched currencies.
Pounds, yes, gold pieces. I'm in the world of Sigalia. Thank you. Thank you, Alberta. Damn it.
Gold pieces are actually just really heavy. They're literally just a pound. He's referring to the unit of weight.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter. If you give us a pound of silver, we'll take that as well. No, of course. No, it'll be 500 gold pieces to copy that spell in particular.
It's quite steep, I'm afraid. Is there no chance that you can offer discounts if I offered you tickets to the gig later this evening?
Well, I have to admit, the gigs that are played around here tend to be a bit too boisterous for my tastes. They tend to be a lot of people jumping up and down, over and over. I don't quite understand the point. In my day, we did swing dancing. We did the polka. What happened to style? What happened to duets? Now it's just jumping up and down.
To please the man.
I'm sure that you would find our performance rather intriguing. It is a wonder to behold. You don't want to miss our newest member playing the xylophone. And points at Lydiana. Me just look at her. Would you not pay good money just to see what the fuck happens when this thing turns up and plays? I mean, I'm bizarre, but this is, next level.
You can go ahead and roll me a persuasion check, please.
Yes, bruv. That's what I was hoping for. Where is my sheet? It is persuasion.
Sorry, sneezing fit here. Sorry.
Oh no. Bless you, bless you, bless you.
9, I'm afraid.
Oh.
I toot
Never
on
mind.
on one of the bones.
And a bit of dust comes out.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. What if I come to this gig, and if I enjoy the music, I will give you a 200 gold piece discount on copying out this spell.
That sounds rather a good deal. Rather a good deal. So you said that you like the polka. Okay.
Well, back in the day, of course.
Yes, yes. Okay, and then like Gnurgle puts out his hands, like shake on it, and then takes the hand of what's the name of the shopkeeper again? Sorry.
He hasn't given you a.
Oh, and your name is sorry.
My name is Glynerekakon.
Gnurgle. That's not a really over the top name, but great. Okay. I'll never remember that. And then in his hand, he shakes his hand, but rather smoothly, he's giving him a ticket as well.
Oh, that's very smooth indeed. A smile lights up his face. Ah, the oldest of illusory tricks, sleight of hand.
But you did also notice that his palms were hairy as well, so that kind of grosses you out at the same time.
It's slightly awkward, my laughing now. And he will sort of wipe it on his pant leg and put it in his shirt pocket.
Amazing. Cool. Yeah, thanks for that, Josh. I'll hopefully be able to get a little bit of a discount later on if
Amazing.
He's gonna
Fab.
love the show.
Mm.
I have a question, Josh.
Yes.
Because I grew up in Thorogrove, there were gnomes around. I speak gnomish. I had to keep relations up well. And sometimes if I would have to go get looked after when Mum was busy working, there was a gnomish lady who'd help me out. Would I know any gnomish music? Just out of curiosity. I don't know if I would. I'm happy to roll. Or if you think I have or haven't, let me know.
I imagine you have. I'm going to be a basic DM and say it's the most Irish music of all time. Is the
Cool.
classic gnomish stuff.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
Not at all.
We'll pepper some of that in.
Could look over at you, Lydiana, and say, and were there any spells in particular that you were looking for?
Well, I think I was. I've come here today with the spells that I need, but it's good to know that you are here because I anticipate that I might need to visit you shortly.
Well, I'm open pretty much every day. And I have been for the past 400 years.
Are you from Crosshire originally?
Oh, well, I mean, way back when my family lived in Thorogrove, but one branch of the family, my branch, came over to Garandia, and then more and more sort of became a thing. I have relatives who have worked in the Garandian government. Indeed. So gnomes are treated very well in this country. It's an ample place of opportunities.
What family are you from? I might know them.
Et. Gnekikon ek. Et, brother. Glyn to my friends, in case that helps.
Lynn. It was lovely meeting you.
And you as well. Yes. How does Thorogrove do these days? One hears so little this far away.
Joshua, how does Thorogrove do these days?
It does about as well as it's been doing for
Yeah.
Thorogove's one of the most consistent countries.
Yeah, pretty solid.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thanks.
absolutely. No worries.
Yeah. It's doing well. I mean, relations between the Wood Elves and the Gnomish people have been going very strongly, sort of as always. We've been very much sort of expanding trade. We have a very strong relationship with Dridia now.
Yes, that's a new one.
Well, it's been, I suppose, yeah, if you've been here for 400 years, that's a new one.
Well,
Yeah.
relatively speaking. Anyway.
Yeah. But that's been going very well.
Well, I hear that
Forests
they're
are
new.
doing wonderfully.
Oh, good. I hear that the new queen in Dridia has been doing wonders for that people.
Yeah, seems to be pretty good.
Amazing. Is there anything else anybody was looking for or wanted?
I'm trying to think. Because I got some magic powers, don't I?
You now have magic, yes.
But can I do anything with the fact that I have magic and that there are books available?
Are you asking if you can steal Tombar?
Yeah.
100%. You have an invisible magic hand. If you
Oh, yeah.
want to try stealing a scroll or a tome, give me a perception check. Looking around.
Out of interest, if you could only have a certain amount of spells, but you were to get a scroll or a tome, does that affect that?
So the way that scrolls work is either you can copy them out, which takes a certain amount of time and money, or you can use them and the spell will erupt out, but it's a one-time use and the scroll itself is consumed.
Okay.
And theoretically, a spell scroll can be made of any spell. Although it gets harder and harder and more expensive the higher the level of the spell.
And what Ralph was doing was getting was copying it out, right?
Indeed.
Don't think warlocks can do that, though.
So my perception check is a 16.
You look around the shop. It looks.
Oh wait, plus.
Yeah. Ooh.
17.
17 is very good. You look around the shop. This guy's got used books from all over the place in a variety of languages. He's got textbooks on musical theory and arcane magic. He's got history books that are sort of like not in any particular order, and sometimes he's only got like the third volume of encyclopedic history of a certain age or era. He's got spell scrolls and what have you, and then there's a little sort of one of those little like velvet rope things that just sections off a tiny little like cupboard of 3 bookcases that and a little sign that just says restricted available to peruse upon request.
Interesting. I'm checking that one out, of course.
Of course.
The adult section.
Yeah. Past the beaded curtain.
In there are a variety of tomes that some of them seem relatively okay. Sort of subject matter that is perhaps now considered controversial, but also writings from people who history has deemed very nasty indeed. And you can see there are a couple of tomes along the bottom shelf.
What are tomes?
Books.
Oh, books.
Yeah,
Ooh.
just big, like, bound books.
What are the ones down at the bottom?
Those ones don't have any labeling on them at all, and just have
Yes.
black leather bindings.
Sweet, let's steal them all.
I'm going to need a sleight of hand check from you, please. And I'm going to say, if you're stealing all of them, do it with disadvantage.
I want to be out of this shop right now.
I really hope I roll something good. Wait, no. Wait,
You pick
can
one, you can just do it plain, but if you try to do all of them, you'll do it with disadvantage.
What's the disadvantage?
It means you roll 2 and you pick the lowest roll that you get.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh dear, that is. Trying to think. Can I have a peruse, have a flick through, thumb through them?
I'm going to need the sleight of hand to get one off the shelf.
Oh right, okay, cool. Maybe I just go for one.
Okay.
'Cause I'm not trusting. Can I roll the dice and decide later?
No. Come on, give me the sleight of hand.
All right, okay, cool. I'll give you the sleight of hand.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, 11
Okay.
plus. What would I add to that?
What have you got next to sleight of hand? I think it's a dexterity based skill.
Oh, 12.
12. Okay. One of these books, you pick up one of these books off of the shelf with your new magical hand. The book is sort of like got this clasp that you've got to undo to look inside. Do you want to try to look at it here, or do you just want to try to get it out of the shop?
Presumably I can do one or the other, right?
If you look at it here, there's a greater chance that you'll be found out.
Are we aware that he's nicking it as well?
I'm not entirely sure. Tombar, have you sort of like, are you just off on your own doing this?
Oh, totally.
Okay, cool.
I've wandered off while the conversation was going on.
Could you guys give me perception checks? Isabyn, you can catch up at this point and sort of enter, and you can also give me a perception check if you'd be so kind. Oh, and yes, another person. Hello, my dear. Is there anything I can help you with, etc.? Glenn?
Yes. 22.
You watch him pick a book up off of a restriction section shelf as you walk in. It's sort of like
And like,
12.
23.
12, 23. Gnurgle, same thing.
Can I steal this
for
thing?
Liliana?
Sorry?
I was just saying 6 for Liliana.
So I'm going to say that Liliana and Gwen don't necessarily see him do this. Gwen, you know where he is. You know that he's just over there. The rest of you, you like just watch him take a book out of this like restricted area of the bookshop. Julien, I leave it to everybody. What's everybody doing?
I'm going to lay it down now, Julien, that Gnurgle wants to get this spell and he doesn't want anybody ballsing that up, to be honest. So I'm trying to think of a way to kind of let you know.
And I've only rolled an 11, so there's a chance that...
What, you've already rolled... You've rolled your sleight of hand already. So it's already happening, isn't it? So
well, he hasn't tried to steal it yet. He's just sort of gotten it without permission.
Could Gnurgle and Isabyn work together because they've seen what's going on, and like Isabyn send Ito to Tombar and to try and stop him, so that he doesn't ruin it for Gnurgle?
Sure.
That's far too complicated.
No, it's good. Tombar's got this book, and then Ito scurries up your leg and just sort of like sits on your hand and looks at you for a second.
Then I place it back on the shelf. And
Ito nods to you and goes back to Isabyn.
and then we leave the store.
Cool beans. Cool
Oh,
beans.
the curiosity.
You could feel the the temptation from the book calling to you. What's inside?
I'll be back.
Happy. The shop's not going anywhere, and you guys have.
That's the thing. Look, I can still nab that book when we go back to get the spell.
This is true.
Yeah, boy.
Happy days. You guys have exited the bookshop. Isabyn, you've gotten a gig where everybody's going to have 3 drinks provided on the house, and a cut of the revenue made on the door fee for charge for people coming in and watching the band.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Miss Manager.
You are most welcome. So I've told him that we're going to play a sort of chilled out gig. It's a slightly different crowd tonight, so we want to try and cater to their needs, and I think it'd be a good challenge for you guys as well to do that. So we can broaden our repertoire as well. So that's the plan for tonight, guys.
I know some gnomish music that we could do like a stripped version of, slow it down, and hopefully might help. Gnurgle's looking to get a scroll from Glyn in the bookshop, so
A sick discount.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
If we're gonna slow things down, Gnurgle sort of like gets his pipe and sticks some very sweet smelling, weedy, tobacco-y, whatever into his pipe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Slow and slow.
does it look like it's messing him up big time or just super chilling him out?
Super chill, yeah. Like, you'd have to take a lot of weed to, make Gnurgle Whiteley. He's like the Snoop Dogg of the wizard world,
Can I have some of that, Gnurgle?
I offered you some earlier, but I thought
I
you
have
would have
some
been like,
too?
oh no. Oh wait, hold on a minute. Yeah, he just shares it around. He's like, yeah,
Cool.
share the love. And then
Thanks,
you've got
man.
like Buffalo Shoulder like playing in the background or something like that.
Cypress Hill at Glastonbury.
Mm.
I think we're in a bard town. There's got to be a music shop around here somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We should check it out. We should get some new. Like Liliana's got her cool going.
Xylophone.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
I think we need to up our game to match Liliana's level.
I think we should get some synths. Let's get some synths.
Thought we were slowing it down.
Let's go post Kid A Radiohead. And like
Zachariah will catch up with you guys. So I've been sort of looking around at what the music scene is in town, and it seems to me that if you're looking for music shops, they're on campus. There are sort of there are more technical instruments. Sort of at the College of Lore, there's some more sort of pizzazzy ones in the College of Glamour, and then College of Swords. How do I say this? If you want to be in a marching band, you go to the College of Swords. They're all about. They're very patriotic. I couldn't get away from them fast enough.
Yes, I'd love a new organ.
I want a bass
do-
lyre.
Do I want something jazzy or do I want something impressive?
Get a flame organ.
Are we gigging tonight and then going out looking for that tomorrow? What kind of time are we now?
I'm gonna say that you guys arrived. You guys are in the afternoon. Now you have time to make a music stop and then go to your and do your gig if you're interested in doing that.
Gwen, you're gonna get a new bass.
I'm gonna get a bass lyre. I learned how to play the lyre back in Thorgrove.
That's a sick instrument.
It is.
That is
It's
an
so cool.
instrument,
And
yeah.
I've been kind of making do with my bow. Because it's like similar like fingering techniques. But yeah, I feel like it would just be super sick to have a lyre. Right?
Yeah. I'll come with. That sounds fucking rad.
Nice.
I'm coming along. I want to get some. Can I get some synths? I want to get some synths. I want to get some synth pads.
You're probably looking at going to College of Glamour for synth pads, and probably going to College of Lore for a lyre.
What instruments Tombar playing again?
The drums.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
To get some synth pads. You know, like there's those pads with the little black squares, and they make
Yeah.
you can program.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking about.
For sure.
And some bells.
And some bells.
Yeah, I want to like kit out my drum kit.
Okay. Okay, I just have to ask something before I sort of. If you want to go shopping and get all of that stuff, I won't do it so in depth as what we just did for the bookshop. Does Tombar sort of splurge with his money?
Splurge. What do you mean by splurge?
I mean, like spend a lot of money, sort of like go.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I've got like 22 grand, so.
I'm going to say that if you want a really good synth, a foot pedal, bells, all of the extra bits for your drum kit, and sort of like kitting yourself out, that'll run you like 1,200 golds for all of that.
I still got a lot of money though in D&D terms, even if I. Yeah. Cool, let's do it.
1,200 gold pieces exchanges hands, and you are kitted the F out.
Wait.
You go looking, Gwen, for a base light. What I will do is I'll do the interactive stuff, and then I'll sort of describe the colleges. So you go for a base lyre. You find a really nice piece. It's a 400 gold piece. Instrument. It's like it's beautiful wood, nice curvature, and
That's
it's
what I look for. Beautiful wood and nice curvature.
yeah, 100%. Is it a thing? Like, is it just difficult to talk about musical instruments without going into euphemism?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, middle school band class was a nightmare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Incredible. What is everybody else looking for? If anybody's looking for anything.
I would love to find like an organ, but like the double layer organs.
Oh yeah.
That's what I want now. Like a good old classic Harman organ. Yeah, maybe something older rather than newer for me. I like the sound of an old analog organ rather than something newer, please.
Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna roll a quick little checky here. Very cool. They are willing to give you a discount on one of their old pieces for only 210 gold to give you one of these.
Excellent.
Oh,
I will ask.
Isabyn. Isabyn.
Yes.
we want some
Isabyn,
money.
Isabyn.
Yes.
Oh, Mum, I really want it.
Do you want me to open my purse? Is that what you'd like?
Yes, please.
That's disgusting. What are you trying to suggest, woman?
I'm not saying anything. You've got a filthy mind.
Yeah, obviously, give us some money, please.
Fine. And Isabyn gets out the bag and gives people the money they want.
Amazing.
Thank you,
Absolutely
Isabyn.
brilliant. Absolutely. So you guys, Tombar, you fully go to the College of Glamour. Acapella groups up the wazoo. Just all of these sort of bands with all these like different kinds of instruments. People seeing if like they can combine musical instruments to make music that, you know, in a very experimental way that maybe doesn't work. Also,
Everyone's
like,
trying to be Pink Floyd, basically.
everyone's trying to be Pink Floyd. Everybody's trying to be the new best, like the new hot thing. The style is very like bright colors. All of this good stuff. The College of Glamour itself is an incredibly ostentatious thing. It screams art school. It the whole thing is and full of all the most artsy people going about doing their classes and what have you. And obviously there's an on-campus store which is open to the public, which you can go to and grab your stuff and transport that back with you. The College of Lore is much more academic. The people here seem a lot more studious and serious about their work, while the upper echelons of these kind of jobs usually go to people who go to better schools in bigger cities. You're pretty much guaranteed work if you can get accounting work, or some people make a living at copying out spell scrolls or doing like official legal documents and stuff like that. So it's partially law school, partially accounting, partially magic, and there is definitely more of a sort of representative extracurricular band here as opposed to the entire thing being art based. You guys buy what you're going to buy at the College of Lore. I'm going to say that everybody's together at this point. Julien, Tombar will have grabbed his stuff and met you guys back on campus at the College of Lore.
And I'm like carrying all of this. It's just it's like a pile of drum equipment and 2 legs and a pair of hands. Like you can just see the hands wrapped on. And my voice coming from behind all of it.
You guys catch there is an area that has been taped off on campus, and there is somebody who wears a sheriff badge, a human who wears a sheriff's badge, who's sort of surveying the ground where all those little like FBI numbers have been put next to things. And Edgar Galanis, as well as a couple of his people, are approach as you guys see this. There is white chalk on the ground.
Uh-oh.
What shape is it in?
In the shape of a person.
How big?
Human-sized.
I gotta pull some mint out of my pack, just mint leaves, and just start chewing on it so that I don't have weed breath.
Isabyn's because she's quite little, she sort of goes up closer and people don't necessarily notice her, so she can go and have a little look, so she can get in the crowd and get up close to see what's going on.
Sure, I'm going to say that, there are enough people who are sort of gathered around this area and Edgar's people sort of like keeping people back. while this detective and this like very like local sheriff person. Sorry, the sheriff. I misspoke. The sheriff is not human. He is a fire genasi. So basically, this like person who's got elemental heritage. So more or less humanoid. Like yeah, a humanoid person, so looks fairly human, but with sort of like flames instead of hair, and red skin. Is a slightly portly fire genasi sheriff, and as you approach, you can kind of his hair kind of does the Hercules Hades thing where it, like flares up when he gets angry. When he sort of goes, I never heard of such a thing. This is my jurisdiction here. What do you got no business in my territory here, Mr. Glass. I don't care whose butt you licked to get a promotion. You go ahead and get closer, Isabyn. Anybody else going to approach or?
I am. I'm getting close to.
Yeah. Fantastic. And Edgar replies, rather infuriated by this person's attitude. It's like, my orders come from Prince Riadon, who is second in line to the throne. His sister is Queen Riadon. You might have noticed she rules the country you're a part of. I outrank you. You're going to let me see your crime scene. I'm here to help you. And this argument sort of continues.
So can everybody else hear this argument?
I'm going to say that everybody else can hear this argument as well.
Gnurgle is just like drinking up all this tea right now, though. He's like enjoying watching this conflict.
So there's the chalk.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead, Julien.
Oh no. I was just gonna say, can I investigate? Can I do like see what's going on? Look.
Absolutely, yeah. Investigate is the perfect skill. Anybody who wants to see more about what's going on, give insight on things, tell me what you're trying to do, and roll a check.
Sure. And then, what were you gonna say, Hugo?
No, I was gonna say, is it just the chalk outline on the floor? Then there's no kind of ambulance or kind of emergency kind of vehicles.
No, it doesn't look like there are any emergency vehicles around. It looks like, I'll tell you for free. So there's this chalk outline and then sort of just a couple of like bits on the ground, which have sort of been labeled and left where they are. The body looks like it has been moved already.
Okay, I'm gonna go into that crowd and just kind of listen out. I'm guessing these people are kind of chatting to each other and gossiping, are they, or are they in silence?
Yeah, no. There's definitely a sort of a muttering and sort of like, do you know who it was? Oh, I heard a rumor that it was so and so and blah 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 blah. That goes on. Like, oh man, if only we could get closer and see. Like, that guy looks like a really big honcho from the government. Like, all this stuff.
Ooh, I just rolled my perception check. My
investigation.
Investigation, yeah. I got a natural 20. Followed by, what would I add to that? Oh, 21 then.
Yeah. Natural 20 is incredible. Let me just quickly check and see if anybody else has any rolls that they want to make, and then I will parcel out information.
Can I use my so I've got Master of Intrigue, and I can listen to other languages as well. Can I be doing that in the crowd? Do I need to do that?
Sure. Nobody's talking in another language at the moment in the crowd. There are different accents for sure. There are people who sound like they might be further afield, like closer to Arohan. You get the more sort of Arohani-esque accents you find. There are other accents that you can pick out from other areas of Garandia, from and from Verano as well, which is the other human nation. Is they have an accent unto themselves as well, but it seems like those are coming from students.
So-
Can I also roll an insight into why he's called Edgar, isn't he?
Yes.
Why Edgar wants to stick his nose in.
You go ahead and roll insight. What were you going to say, Hugo?
Because I moved a bit closer earlier, can I use a performance roll and just kind of rush into the back of this crowd a little bit and just cause a bit of just ruffle up a few people and just say kind of, I can't find my fucking classmate. Can someone tell me what happened here?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh yes. I'm gonna want deception from you, Hugo. What did you get, Miranda, for your
with my
insight?
additional bits? I got 8, so not great.
Okay, inside 8. And then what is your deception?
It's a 17.
Okay, so first of all, looking at this crime scene, Tombar, you can pick out exactly everything that's going on.
I'm gonna Sherlock Holmes this thing.
You can Sherlock Holmes this thing. Based on the magical degradation of the magical tape that has been set up around this crime scene, you can tell that this has been here since morning. You can see the chalk outline is clearly of a human, looks from the figure to be a woman, looks like a young woman.
Interesting.
Was moved from here. There are tiny little, you would have said scorch marks on the ground, but it's more like the grass has died a little bit in certain tiny patches on the ground. Around her are these like numbered things. Turns out that's a little bit of a red herring. Those were just sort of the contents of this person's satchel and pockets as presumably as they fell to the ground. Yes, it seems like some of this grass was sort of like upturned and stuff. There are no distinct footprints, but you can see 2 sets, one small, one large. Looks like not necessarily larger than theirs. By your best guess, it's impossible to say whether it's a man or a woman's gait because footprint, yeah, but definitely somebody. You're looking at somebody who's like 5'10" or up. Yeah, okay. And that's sort of what you glean from your check. Isabyn, with your insight as to why Edgar would want to get involved, just based on what he's saying, it just seems like he stopped in town, saw that something had happened, and thought he could lend assistance, which now, because he's getting yelled at, he wants to give even more because this person's being so obstinate about him not helping. And with your 17 to 7, and then once you guys see that, boom! You come in, Lydiana, asking after your friend. And people start going like, oh, man, like, who's your friend? Like, who are you looking for? But this detective breaks off, this Fire Genasi detective breaks off, his hair kind of goes back to normal. Here's what you've said. And sort of goes, did you know? Here, let her through. Let her through. Sorry, miss. What's your name?
My name's Anita.
Your name's Anita. Lovely to meet you, Anita. I'm very sorry. I've got incredibly bad news. Your friend Adelaide, right?
Yeah, that's her.
Kid Adelaide was found dead here early this morning.
I just break down on the floor,
Oh.
covering my face, but making the noise so he can't see my dry eyes.
Crocodile tears.
He'll kneel down. Go. I know this is very hard. Anita, would you consider coming by my office at a time of your convenience later this afternoon, and telling me anything you can tell me about Adelaide?
I'll do anything to work this one out for you. I'll come by certainly. Where is it?
And he'll just give you directions to the sheriff's office.
Perfect. I'll see you there.
Oh, I appreciate that, Anita. And actually, another woman comes forward, and sort of said, "Did you say Adelaide?" And this human woman comes forward and goes, "I had class with Adelaide. I'll come by this afternoon as well. My name's Elise." And he kind of goes, "Oh, well, great, thank you, Elise." And she'll sort of
I kind of say, "Oh, that I'll come along with you. Let's do this together. I could do with the support."
"Oh, great. Sure, Anita, right? Yeah." And she'll, sort of, the crowd starts murmuring again, and she sort of helps you up. And she sort of says, how did you know Adelaide? I don't know that we've never met. I'm Elise."
She was just in one of my classes and we hit it off earlier this year, but I don't know her too well, but she was a very good friend of mine in those classes.
Oh, well, she was great. Yeah, she was really great.
She was funny. She made us laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Well, what time are you thinking of heading over? I'll meet you over there.
In about an hour?
Sure, an hour's fine. God, she's really dead. And she sort of, the shock hits her and she starts to cry. But she sort of has her own sort of friend group, and she sort of goes, I'll see you there. I'll see you there. And she heads off.
Okay, I'm really deep in this now.
Good luck.
And then the sheriff kind of goes, "Back, everybody, back. Go back to your class. This is an active crime scene, all right? That's enough. We'll have
Nothing
more
interesting to
details
see
for
here."
you. We'll have more details for you when we've sorted this out, okay? Terrible, terrible tragedy. We'll have more comments later."
If anyone is looking back into that area, the area that those of us who haven't sort of gone off are, if you look back in where Gwen was, there's just some human. She looks about like 17 or 18. It looks like she's got like a messenger bag and she's looking kind of like lost and shocked. Like she came to check out the campus, see if like maybe she would go there next year. Yeah.
It's a hell of an open day.
Yeah. She looks different from Helen, but it's the same kind of vibe.
Edgar sort of surveys the crowd of students as they start reluctantly to make their way away. Eyes fully meet yours. Gets a little look on his face. "Miss, did you come here for an open house or something?"
Yeah, I came to check it out and just, is it like, does this happen a lot? Because I've heard that some campuses can get like pretty rowdy. Is this one of those schools?
I'm not a person here. I don't work for the colleges.
Then what are you doing here?
I guess I'm law enforcement. I'm a little ways out of my usual jurisdiction, but I just wanted to let you know, if you are afraid at all, me and my people are going to stay here tonight. We weren't planning on it, but we are going to help get to the bottom of this, and we're going to keep everybody safe, all right?
Okay. Sure. Thanks.
Okay.
Walk away.
Gee, thanks.
Sure, Jan.
fully didn't recognize you.
Yeah. Would he even if I look like me? I don't.
You don't know. You haven't tested it.
Been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, you guys meet back up together after this sort of incident.
And so that's interesting. We have because when did my suspicion is that this has something to do with those sketchy guys that have just arrived in town. I don't know, because plot points, eh?
Indeed.
Gwendolyn also doesn't trust them, so she also immediately thinks it's got something to do with them.
Yeah, we could ask around and see. Because when did the murder take place, and when did they arrive?
So, according to what you know of the crime scene, early in the morning is probably when it was set up, which means the crime would have happened earlier than that. So this is kind of like 6, 7 in the morning that this was sort of discovered. You don't know when these writers got to town, but an estimate would say like 4 or 5
in the morning.
Yeah.
So just ahead of us then.
Yeah, you guys were a few hours behind them. Yeah.
When would have been Payne just been hyper aware of Edgar? So she would have been seeing like
Go ahead,
she would have been
check if you
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a soft 20. No, maybe not. I mean, it's something like that. Yeah, soft 20.
Is there anything specifically in your hyper awareness that you're looking out for in this moment?
Just does he know more than he's letting on? Is he looking to cover something up?
Cool. You were watching him in his interactions with the sheriff, and then when he was talking to you, when the sheriff was sort of talking to Lydiana, he fully wasn't looking at that. He was just looking at the ground with the chalk line around it. And in that very subtle way of somebody who doesn't really show emotion for a professional, looked sad.
I think was she going to do anything else? Alberta.
I was going to see what other people were thinking, because depending on what other people kind of want to do, she'll go with that.
Yeah, I think it's very tragic. That's sad for this girl. I also wanted to get my organ, which was annoying. But I think we need to establish whether she was targeted or whether she was in a wrong place at the wrong time and witnessed something that she shouldn't have seen or not. So I would think it might be a good idea if potentially we split the party. Ooh, split the party. And some of us maybe go and find out a little bit more about the girl. What's her name again?
The girl's
Adelaide.
name was, well, the one who died is Adelaide. Yeah, for sure.
Adelaide.
Yeah.
And then other half of the party maybe go and check out what's happening with the other guys, see if they've got anything to do with it. I forgot their names.
The
Task
Zero.
Force.
Yeah, Zero Force. Yeah.
I need
And
to go with the people that are going to look out for Adelaide's friends or information, because I need to learn a bit more about her myself.
Sounds like you might be interrogating some college students. As you guys start to discuss your plans of attack, you've got all of these questions, you've got all of these things to investigate, a brand new town, a gig waiting for you in the evening, mystery on all sides. Guys, we got a classic whodunit, and that is where we're going to end our session for the evening.
Nice.
Thank you.
I like
Thanks,
it.
Josh.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
GM.
you
Guys.
guys.
Thank you.
Welcome, Hugo.
Yes,
Welcome.
Lydiana.
Thanks for having me along.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you liked it, please consider giving us a like, giving us a comment, subscribing, doing all of the fiddly little YouTube bits, as well as hitting us up on social media. We've got Facebook, we've got Twitter, we've got Instagram, we've got all these things. We would love to discuss these ongoing stories with you, and just have a conversation, be part of the community. We would love that. Do it, please, or not. Be your own person, but do what I say.